Okay, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do last video we're making this isometric room. In the last video we made this window in this room here, and now we're going to put a blind in front of it. Stop the sun from getting through. So um, let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to move this window back a little bit. It's too far into the room. I need room for the blind. So I'm gonna while I'm here, I'm gonna do some housekeeping and just rename these. This is the top window, so top, and then this is the bottom window. Okay, so I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to move them, grab G to grab, x-axis. I'm going to move them back so they're right about there. So just zoom in and just see what that looks like. Maybe a little, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now I got enough room for a blind in this space here. So it's going to be a roller blind. So we're going to add a cylinder. So add mesh cylinder, and we're going to grab that, move it up the z-axis, rotate it, R to rotate, x-axis 90 degrees. So that looks good. And we're just going to scale this down a whole bunch. So scale something like that. Then I'm going to scale it on the y-axis because I need to be longer. Something like that. Now, I'm going to click on this window and I hit N on the keyboard. It comes out with this menu. So I know the window's 30 inches wide on the y-axis. So I actually want this to be 30 inches as well. Oh, by the way, if you go to scene properties, I'm using imperial in inches. So, but you can see these measurements don't make sense. And the reason is I got to apply. So Control A to apply. And because I changed the scale and the rotation, I want to apply all transformations. And then over here, you see this makes sense now. So I need this on the Y to be 30. So now it's the same width as the window, which is what I want. So, and I might just make these round numbers. So 3 by 3. So I think that looks good. So now I'm just going to move this. So G to grab. I'm just going to get it close, something like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to hide this for the moment, and I'm going to select the walls. I'm going to tab into edge mode, and I'm going to zoom in here. I want to get this innermost edge right there. Hold down my option key so it selects all of them, and F to fill, and then P to separate this as its own object. And you can see over here, I got a new object. So back into object mode, and I'm going to select this. I'm going to rename this while I'm here. I call this the blind. And actually, I'm going to call it window blind. And this here, I've hidden it. This is going to be the window blind roller. Okay. So now I'm going to select these two things, and I'm going to do my / key, and it hides everything but these. So that's kind of what I want. So now I want to place this roller as if it could it's an extension of the blind. So I can do G to grab and hit B, and I want to grab it right there. So the B is kind of like a magnetic thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to do, hold on, I'm just going to do G to grab, B, and I want to move that up just a little, down just a little bit. No, I think I like where it was. Okay, that looks good. So now I want to duplicate this. So Shift D to duplicate this. So you can see I got another roller blind .001. And I want to change this to be smaller, but I want it to be 30 inches wide. So 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And this is going to go at the bottom of the blind. So now I'm going to do G to grab and B again. And I'm going to just snap that right there. So just zoom in on that so you can see what I've done. So it's kind of in the middle. and it's the thing that you grab on to pull the blind down. If you've ever had a roller blind. So I'm liking this. So I'm gonna hit my / key to bring back the rest of the room. Now, um, I am going to select all of these, and I'm going to G to grab along the X axis. I'm going to move them back. And one thing, oh, I didn't grab the bottom thing. So one thing I want to do here, actually, before I get too far, actually, I'm going to just select all these things again and hit / to hide everything. I think I want this blind to be a little shorter so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to tab into edge mode. I'm going to grab this bottom edge, G to grab Z axis. So I'm going to move it up, something like that, because the blind's only going to be half open in this scene. So now back into object mode. So G to grab this, and B, because we want to snap it to the bottom of that blind. Okay. Got to get close for it to snap. So I'll zoom in a bit here. So G to grab B right there. That looks good. So now if we bring back the rest of the room, now I can kind of see the window and see what I'm doing. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to move it down the Z axis a little bit. Grab Z, something like that. And then G to grab X axis. And I'm going to move it back something like that. That looks good. Actually, if you G to grab along the X axis, you keep moving it back, the window sort of pokes through. So kind of just move it just shy of that. And I kind of want a little gap at the top so you can see it's not part of the window. It's something separate. So we could say we're done here. Actually, I'm going to join the handle and the blind. So I'm going to select those two, object, join. So now they're one object. So I'll rename that window blind. Okay. So now if I want this window to go up and down, I could the blind to go up and down, S to scale, Z axis. That isn't really what I want. The blind kind of runs up through the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the origin of this blind, but you need a add-on, and it is called Orient. And this Orient add-on does a whole bunch of things. It's a fabulous add-on, but I'm going to show you what I use it mostly for. So I am going to go into, I'm going to hide this roller. So I'm going to go into edge mode, and I'm going to select this top edge. I'm going to go to mesh, snap, and origin to selected. So now I go back into object mode. I'll bring back my roller. And now if I scale this on the Z axis, you can see it scales kind of like a blind would, go up and down. So I like that. That's kind of, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So now the last thing I'm going to do is add some material to this. But first I'm going to add some lighting just to show you what this looks like with, so I'm going to grab this light, and I'm going to do a Shift D to duplicate, grab it, move it along the X axis, and then grab it, move it down the Z axis. So it's kind of behind that window, right like that. So we're going to go into this mode here, render mode. And you can see we made these window panes glass in the last video, so you can see the light shining through it. But I want the blind to have a similar effect. So I'm going to select this blind and hide that. I'm going to select this blind and go into edit mode, select the face, and then add a new material. So over here to materials, and then add new, and I'm now with this face selected and this material selected, I'm gonna hit assign, and then over here I'm gonna go turn the alpha down a little bit. And you can see the sun starting to the light starting to shine through that blind. You don't want to bring it down too much because you still want the blind to act as a blind and create some sort of shade to the room. So back to object mode. So that is a blind on the window, and it works. So we can scale Z, so bring it down, bring it up, And of course, the last video we seen how we can G to grab Z, move the window up and down. And now we got some a light shining through the window, which is kind of neat. Anyway, that's the video. If you like what you're watching, give it a like. Think of subscribing. It really helps my channel. I'm just starting out. I really appreciate the subscribers. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.